Hello and welcome. This is Tina Bradford. I'm one of the customer success managers here at Mortgage Coach. I'm going to give everyone a few more minutes. I have a lot of people dropping in, and this is a quick class. I'm not going to waste your time. We're going to get in there, get dirty, get it done. If you have any questions, always feel free to drop anything into the chat box or into the GoToWebinar control panel area. Just to start off with, just so I know that you can hear me as well as you can see the screen that says the Modern Mortgage Experience, if you can just drop what company are you with? So in that question area, what is your mortgage company that you're working with today? Drop that into the question area box. And that way I know that you can see as well as hear what is going on. So we have Caliber, Union Home, Cherry Creek, another Caliber, Finance of America, Pacific, Sunrise, in Atlanta Mortgage, Prime Lending, Union, another Prime Lending, Mortgage Network. So we actually have a lot of people on this call, and I'm not going to give you guys, I'm not going to sit here and list everyone off, but I still have people dropping in. And again, because the class is a fast class, I like to make sure that people do have time to drop into the class before I start actually the process. Raise your hand in here if you've ever seen a master template being completed. So if you have seen a master template, raise your hand. I have Pete that has, so I have a few of you that have seen that master template. So what I'm going to do to start off with is I'm actually going to go into my Mortgage Coach account. And I'm going to pretend that I have a client. So someone raise your hand if you'd volunteer to be my client. So if anyone wants to, okay, we're going to undo it. And this one I know is a good guy. Hey, Paul, how are you? Nice to see you on the call. We're going to unmute Paul. So hi, Paul, how are you?
Doing good. How about you?
I am doing well. So you're going to be my client today, and I am working with Paul, and I'm not going to put Paul's information in here, and I don't know if you guys noticed. I'm going to cancel that out. I clicked into the view all. So I'm sitting down with Paul, and I'm going to click on search, and I'm going to say, hi, Paul, how's things going? How's the family? I'm going to do the little BS with Paul just to get to know him. And then I'm going to say, tell me a little bit about what you're looking for today.
I'm looking for a VA loan, just moving into the area with the military.
Oh, you're looking for a VA loan. Of course, you picked the one that I don't have a master template on right now. So we're going to say he said he's looking for an FHA versus conventional loan. Great. So do you know how much you qualify for today?
Not completely sure, but I think about 200,000.
Great. So I'm going to go in here and I'm going to pick that FHA versus conventional, and I'm going to copy that analysis to a new client and click on OK. So while I'm doing this, I'm going to continue engaging with Paul to make sure that he knows I'm still here with him. So Paul, have you already talked to any other loan officers yet?
I have. I spoke with USAA.
Perfect. So did they give you anything, any layouts or any information at this point?
No, they really didn't give me anything more than a rate at this point.
So you said about 250,000, is that correct, Paul?
Yeah.
So great. So I am looking actually at a presentation that I have, and based on that 250,000, today's interest rate for an FHA is around 4.25, and our conventional isn't much more than that. That's 4.375. But what I want to show you, Paul, is a complete presentation. So and let's pretend that I'm going to email this to Paul. So Paul, I'm going to go ahead and send you a link. If you would, could you please open that link up? Now, as you notice, the only things I put in was Paul's name, the price of the home, and I'm placing this in the chat box, and the interest rate. So that is all I placed in there for the products. And if you'd like, you guys can click on that link down there. So I've already emailed it to Paul, and I'm just going to say, Paul, when you're ready and you have that opened up, you've received it in your email, click on that link and open it up for me. So while he's opening it up, I'm going to add a couple other things in here. And he doesn't know that I'm in the background working on a few other things. I can even go into the analysis screen. I can change anything in the analysis screen I want. And once Paul tells me that he does have it opened up,
I've got it up.
Great. I'm going to click into my preview screen. So as you can see, I'm showing that FHA versus conventional, and this is real life. This is what it would be today, Paul. Does this look great to you?
Looks fantastic.
Here's the payment on both of these payments. If you notice, it will highlight on your screen as I go through and talk about it. So then, and Paul, thanks for playing with me, but then as I go through, and I'm just going to mute you now. Thank you.
Yep.
So then as I go through it, I have everything ready for Paul. So this is called a master template. This is the easiest and fastest thing you could possibly do for yourself as a loan originator using Mortgage Coach. Now the question is, how do I build those master templates? Master templates are super easy. So what we're going to do is I am going to let you guys call out the first two different templates that are called out. I will build them with you on this call. So if you want me to build a master template, give me the products you want in the template. For example, FHA versus conventional. The VA loan, you can show different MI factors. I have right now an ARM versus that conventional loan. So whatever it is, if you do want a certain master template built, let me know in that question area box, and that is the template that we will start building. So if anyone has any master templates they want to build in their own system. So we have no one in there. So let's go ahead and click on new client, and we will start building a master template. And we'll do points versus no points. Actually, we have the FHA versus VA. So let's do that one. The very first thing you always want to do is put a special character at the front of it. And the reason you put that special character is because when you go and do a search, anything that has a special character comes to the top of the list of that search. So when you're talking to your client, all of those are listed right in front of you. And as you dive into what that client is looking for, you can choose the master template that's going to fit their needs. So after that, I don't place anything else in here. I'm a less is more girl. The less I have to type, the better I feel about it. In the goals area, I am going to choose purchase a new home. And I'm going to go nice and slow so you guys can build alongside of me. Now I'm actually going to skip and not put anything in the assumption area or the affordability area. We want to go right into the products. And we're going to build that FHA. And I always like building that FHA first. It's just my preference. FHA, you can do 5%, you can do 3.5%. Whatever you're doing your FHA though, note it in the name. And that way when you look at the presentation, you know quickly how much is that down payment. I'm going to put the percentage at the amount that I'm asking down, so 3.5%, and I'm going to place the term here, 360. That's the only information I'm putting in here. Basically, I'm building out a blank presentation. I'm going to advance forward. Now, hopefully you have your closing cost details in there and you have templates. If you have not gone to the other template classes and you need to know how to build product templates, please throw your email into the question area box and I will email you a presentation that we did previously on those product or fee templates. But you're going to choose your FHA fee template here. Now, I know some of you on your FHA, on any of your templates, you might not have certain fees in there. Maybe you don't have the title insurance, and that one actually looks ugly. I'm not going to use that one today. I'm just going to use my samples. So if you don't have your title fees or you don't have something in there, that's okay. Don't fill it in. You can fill it in when you're building out the template. It only adds one more touch to the final product. We're going to apply it to the product. You're going to put the average number of days that you go in for your prepaids. So either I have two people. I have those people who only put like 2 days, those people who only put like 15 days, whatever yours is, you want to put that same average. And then on the next page, hazard insurance and property tax. If you cannot put it as a percentage, you're going to put the amount that your average is. So whatever your amount is for your average here on your property tax and hazard insurance, those dollar averages, that's what you're going to place in there. And I actually forgot, I'm going to go back because I forgot to put my FHA up front. The very first page, make sure that we do add that FHA upfront premium. That was an oops on my behalf. And make sure that you add the percentage right down here. We know it's 1.75. Now we're going to add our mortgage insurance. And finally, you're going to add the average number of months that you collect for your reserves. So I put 2 plus 12, so 14 months for my hazard insurance and 3 months for my tax reserves. Now we're going to add our second product, which becomes very easy because we're doing the conventional 5%. Simply copying it from that FHA, clicking on OK, removing that upfront. So I went to the upfront premium, removed it, change it to 5% down. And then as you advance forward, if your closing costs are different, go up and change it for your conventional closing cost and then apply it to the loan. But otherwise, your prepaid days of interest as well as your hazard insurance should be the same. Your mortgage insurance, if you know an average factor in here for your conventional 5%, throw that average in. And then your hazard and tax reserves. So I am going to add one more product here just because there is one more product that would make sense. And that is an 80-15-5. I know everyone does not do these. You can also do an 80-10-10 here. But this one makes sense on this loan to be able to compare it. I'm going to copy it from that 5% conventional because that's the closest loan to being the same. Clicking on OK. All the fees, actually, we got to change over here. The front, whenever you're doing an 80-10-10 or an 80-15-5, you want 20% down. This is the CLTV. And the only other aspect is you're going to come back to this section and click on yes. Or does this include a second lien? And then in this second lien area, let's say you always do a 20-year, you can put that 240 in here. If you always do first 10 years interest only, you can add that in there. Anything that is stagnant that stays the same, that is what you're adding. Now we have our 3 loan scenarios. We're going to go into our analysis area and set up that analysis area. You'll put your average appreciation, whatever you like for the short term. 60 is always great because it matches the TILA RESPA. And the long term, 10 years is really great because it matches the new 7. So it used to be 10 years everyone was touching their loan. Now it's 7. On these loans, I do like interest in MI because they are interest in MI heavy. And the last thing I do is go into my contact area and add your new home. Because remember, this is a marketing piece as much as it is used to compare loans. If you're always working in the same city or state, you can add them as well. You want this stuff again. What is going to stay stagnant? What don't you want to touch when you're going in to add your loan scenario? So any questions on that or anything that I need to go back over and do and show you? Now I know some of you guys might be going, but I might only use that 80-10, 80-15-5 once in a while. The great thing about it is by having all 3 products built out, I can come back in and I can turn any product off at any time. So if I'm not going to show that product, I don't even have to fill it out. I'm just going to turn it off. And by turning it off, you go into the presentation, into the select report, and then just unchecking the box here. So I'm going to go back up to my home now. And Steve, I'm not sure what you mean by interest heavy. So in these loan scenarios, they all have an MI factor. The interest is based off the daily interest, but it's that MI factor that really comes into play when I'm showing the product, and that's why I choose the interest in MI, not because the interest, but because the MI factor that comes into play. Especially when things start shutting off like that conventional loan, if you do have a minimum amount of percent of months as well as the LTV, then that really comes into play with when you're showing long term. Okay, so that is the way that you build it. So you would have it, and I put a double asterisk in front of it. So is there any other loan scenarios that you would like me to show you? Okay, so Steve wants me to go really quick through these last few windows in this analysis section. So what these three do. So total principal shows just that. It shows how much the principal has gone, or how much money has gone towards principal in that long term. Remember, all of this is based on that long term analysis that you select. So how much principal is paid in that long term. The total net worth, this shows you how much equity has been built in. If you're showing a property appreciation rate, that comes into play. If you go into your adjust reinvestment strategy and you add in anything into the investment or into your savings, that also shows into the net worth. And remember, it all comes back to what is the long-term time savings that you show. And this one shows the total amount of each payment that goes towards interest and MI during that long-term analysis time frame. So while I was showing that, any other master templates you want to see built? Does anyone in here use MI options? So how many people in here use MI options? And you can just raise your hand to show me if you do. So we have no MI options. What other loan scenarios? How about points versus no points? Are you guys showing points versus no points? I'm trying to look at for a couple of them that a few people show, and it's going to be beneficial for me to build for the whole class. So how about 10% down with monthly single or lender paid MI? Great one. So let's go in. We're going to click on new client. Remember, switching it to marketing, I just like things clear. You don't have to do that. We're going to do 10% down. And remember, the more clear you can make your headline, the easier it's going to be. But don't forget, and I'm going to do my double asterisk. And I'm going to do 10% down with monthly or lender paid MI. We'll go through this one a little faster. Goals is purchase a new home. I'm going to skip right over to my product. And I'm going to do borrower paid MI. I'm going to add in, just in case you have it, I'll add in borrower paid MI and split MI as well. So once you go in here, borrower paid MI, you'll add in your single. We already said this is 10% down, so we'll add that 10% down. Now you can do whatever makes sense for your loan products. And we're going to add our 360. And this is borrower paid single up front, so we're going to add that single premium at the bottom. Again, adding your fees. Whoops. And then after you add your fees, I got to go back one. Add your fees, you can add your prepaid days of interest. And your single premium, I'm going to say it is 0.9. You want to add whatever your normal single premium is if you are doing it. Percentages or your dollar amounts for your home. Since this one's borrower paid, it's upfront single. There's no monthly MI. I'm going to add my hazard insurance, collect my 12 months, add my tax reserves, and add my second product. So this one's going to be monthly MI. I'm going to copy it from that single paid MI and click on OK. Removing that single up front to none. Advancing forward, this will not change. And this we will now add our monthly, and I'm going to say mine's 0.4. It's the only thing I need to change. I'm going to add my next one. This one's lender paid MI. Again, copying it from the one that it's most like. I'm just going to copy it from that borrower paid MI, click on OK, remove my single paid MI. Now here is where it is up to you as the borrower. If you want to see that you are paying that MI for them, you can add it in the closing cost as a custom fee, and you would add 2 custom fees. First custom fee, well, you would add 1 custom fee. Add the custom fee, lender paid MI, place in default prepaid because this is all handled before the prepaids are handled. Click on OK. You're going to use a negative amount. So let's say it is still that 0.9, but the lender's paying it. But you want to add in a negative here. Now the second fee you're going to add, if you want to show it, is contributions. And I think I passed it. Let's go. And I'm going to do that 0.9. Now this one is already set up properly and it's paid by the lender, and that's going to cancel out. These two are going to cancel each other out, and then you can apply it to the loan. The other way to do it is just not to show either one of these and just let the borrower know the lender's paying it. In most cases, this means the interest rate's a little bit higher. And the last one is the split MI. We're going to copy it from that first one. That borrower paid MI, click on OK. We already have that upfront single on there. We'll move over here. We'll change it to that lower premium amount. And then we'll go add our monthly MI factor. Going into your analysis area, you would set it up how you like it set up. On this one, I would probably go with showing total net worth. And then again, adding to your property address, your new home, and as much information here that stays stagnant for you. Maybe I only have a California license. I'm going to include that California state. And now I have the 2 presentations complete, those 2 master templates. Now to show you again, because I showed you in the beginning how to use it, I'm going to show you again. How do you use them now that you have them set up? And I just want to stop any questions on those. It all comes down filling in as much information as possible that stays stagnant, those things that don't change. Now, if I'm going to use one of them, I'm going to go into my view all. Click on my search. And then I can scroll down and find any of those templates. And you can see I have a ton of templates in here. The one, of course, that Paul pulled out was the VA, and I haven't done that one. So that's on my list to do. The ones I just built are down here. But I can go through any of these to be able to pull out a master template. And all I do is whichever one it is, I click on the caret, I click on the name, click on copy analysis, and new client. And this one I'm pretty sure is not built up the correct, so I'm going to go 15 versus 30. Now I know what have I placed in there myself that stays stagnant, and what do I need to place in there? I need to place my client's name in there. I need to place a last name. If I am using a realtor or someone, I can place this in there in order for them to get those alerts. I'm going to place in my friendly name, purchase, and then I'm going to go right into my assumptions. That little explanation point tells me, hey, Tina, you need to fill something in here. So I'm going to place in my property amount. I'm going to use 300,000. If I want to add my standard deduction, I'm going to add that here. But if I add a standard deduction in there, I want to remember that I have to also add on the next page my tax percentage. Now I'm going to go into my products, and now I can easily add, what is my 15-year? It's 3.875. If I did not put in my lender title fees or my owner's title fees, I can quickly go into my closing cost information, update any information in here, and then go right to my next loan. And you can notice I jump from loan to loan by placing my mouse on products and then quickly going to the other loan. I can now add my conventional, my analysis area is set up, so I'm happy with that. My contact information, I can go in if I know what city they're buying in. I can add the city, the state, the zip code. The more you can make it relevant to your client, the better it's going to be. And then finally, going to the end. So I do want to jump into the questions. So how do you get the screen with your folders with the master templates? Great. Let's go back again. On the home screen, there's the word view all in the upper right hand side of those recent clients. Clicking the view all, this is your search window. So going into your search window allows you to be able to go into those master templates. Because you put a special character at the top, it comes right to the top of the list. So great question. And friendly name, another great question. I don't think we give enough notice to what this friendly name does. I'm actually going to go into here to explain it. I believe I have a Tommy Lee that has several different presentations underneath him. So I'm going to go into Tommy. You can see here underneath it, all of those listed. That friendly name helps you keep them separate as you go through and do them. Now, if you just keep building new presentations, you'll have it like mine where there's a whole bunch of Tommy Lees, and that's just a name I use randomly. But here's the best one to show. So I have my annual mortgage review 2018, my annual mortgage review 2019. So that friendly name helps me keep my presentation separate as I build those loans underneath Tommy. So that is what they do. So, and if you're not building loans underneath your clients, like for your annual mortgage review, super, super easy to do, because I can click on my annual mortgage review 2019, copy my analysis, copy it to the current clients, click on OK. Now I can go in and I can update it. Now it's 2020. In the assumptions, if I did it the right way, when I built in the assumptions, I would put the automatic update balance here. And then in the products, I can go in and change these or do anything I want with the products in order to make them relevant to my client. So it's kind of like a master template for your client if you're copying the client's presentation because it's the same home that they're going into. That you're just doing a refinance or a mortgage review. Any other questions that we have today? Again, this takes a little bit more time to set it up in the front end. However, once you guys have clients sitting in front of you and you use one of these, the first time you use it, you are going to be so happy you took that time to set your account up properly because it's literally going to take you 2 to 3 minutes to build a presentation at most. So it looks like there's no other questions. I will stick around for a minute or two, just in case you do have a question that you want to ask. If you don't have a question, feel free to drop off the call. Thanks for joining me. I hope that this does help you in your production, as well as it makes things a little bit more simpler for you. Thanks again. Have a great weekend. Yes, Richard, I will send you the fee templates one as well. So I know that there's 2 of you that requested it so far. Jerry, I'm going to actually be, there's going to be a marketing piece go out for these trainings on the fee template, product template, and master template. If you want a copy of this, it's also going to be sent out to you. They're sent out approximately 24 hours later. Harvey, I'll send you out that one as well. No problem. Okay, looks like there's no other questions. Thanks a lot. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.